Welcome to the first Zoom call-ins episode of 2025 on Reader Seeks Romance Channel's Romance Roundup, the #1 romance book recs talk show. I am Liz Donatelli.
And I'm Libby Kay, author of the sweet romance series Buckeye Falls and the upcoming When Sparks Fly.
Stopping by the Zoom room today is Libby's cousin, Carrie Horner.
Wow, 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 wow!
Watch Romance Roundup on Reader Seeks Romance Channel and subscribe on YouTube. Listen to Romance Roundup on PodBean and all podcast apps. Follow us on Instagram at Libby K Author and at Reader Seeks Romance. Hello, Libby.
Hello, Liz.
And hello to Romance Roundup's official mascot, Little Jimmy, the boy coal miner.
Hello, Libby and Liz. Let's talk about romance books.
And I just want to mention really quickly, there's a book that recently came out. I love the cover. It's that pop art illustrated cover.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called Axe Backwards. And I thought that was really funny. Like, instead of ass backwards, it's axe backwards.
Who's it by?
Daphne Elliott. And it's part of the main Lumberjacks book series. It's book 4. And I love it's like a Lumberjack single dad book.
It looks so cute. I'm looking at the cover right now. It looks so cute.
I don't know if it lists the tropes or anything.
I mean, he's holding a baby.
Yeah, he's holding it. So maybe it's the Lumberjack holding a baby trope.
Sorry.
It's a small town Lumberjack situation. I plan to add it to my TBR. I did not prepare to talk about it on today's show, but I put a reminder for myself by adding the book cover to my desktop. So I wanted to mention it. So
it does look cute.
It's a Lumberjack single dad. It's a baby. And it's a really great cover. And I love puns. Axe backwards instead of ass backwards is what I guess the play on words is.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Okay, well, that is a new segment called Liz Doesn't Really Prepare, but she's got information to throw at you.
I like it. I think it should be a regular segment.
Actually, it should be Liz is going to give you a minimal amount of information. You do the rest of the research.
Yeah.
Okay. We have cousin Carrie Horner in the Zoom room. Hello, Carrie.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Oh my gosh, of course.
It's a pleasure. Actually, we should really have little mini episodes called Cousin Carrie's Corner, where it's just Carrie talking about whatever is on her mind.
Yeah.
I don't know that you want to give me that much freedom, honestly. Yeah. Libby can be a testament to the kinds of messages I send her when I'm in the middle of reading books and something bothers me.
Oh, well, it goes both ways.
Carrie, we have talked on the show about a number of romance authors who seem to now be switching from either contemporary or historical to romantasy and paranormal.
I'm a paranormal nerd. Like, I'm watching Ghost Hunters like from the very beginning. I've gone ghost hunting myself. I believe Bigfoot exists. My God, like the Loch Ness Monster, absolutely. But I would have to say, like, some of these romances that I just haven't read or won't read are sort of like those. My Instagram feeds will come up with these like weird books where it's like, so especially with hockey, Livy, you might relate to this one. These like packs, these like wolf packs who are also hockey players.
Wait, there's like, wolf pack hockey players?
Wait. What?
What the what?
And so like the female is like with all of them, and I'm not really like into that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like alphas looking for their female mates. I'm not sure I'm into those. I haven't really read them, so I don't want to like say I'm not, but I don't think they're my thing.
Interesting, because the only hockey one I know where there's one lady basically entertaining the entire team is.
And now it's time for Libby is going to give you a minimal amount of information. You do the rest of the research.
Is it totally pucked or pucked? Oh, it has a blue cover. All I know is I haven't read it. A friend of mine has, and she was scarred for life. And it was a 25-hour audiobook. And she's like,
oh
it was one HR violation after another because she works for the team, but she keeps sleeping with everyone on the team. Is it
Pack Darling?
No, they're not. It's
Okay.
not paranormal. It's just straight up like I guess it's reverse
Oh, it's
harem.
regular hockey. Okay, because I'm like I belong to a couple of book clubs, and one of them is might be Smut. Oh no, probably Smut, sorry. And the newest one was Pack Darling by Lola Rock, and that's basically like she's like part of this wolf hockey gang, and they're all like protective of her, and like I immediately like put it for sale on I have a Pango account. And I'm like, I'm just gonna sell this. I don't think this is for me. I'm not judging at all. It's just like that's the one genre. Like I guess I'm just finally starting to find out some of the romance just isn't my
Yeah.
forte.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I
Liz looks like she has a lot of
Yeah.
questions.
I do. I do because I don't typically, so I don't, so wait, these are shifters, right? These hockey
They're
players.
shifters, I
Okay.
guess. Yeah.
See, I usually don't I don't care for shifters, but you've intrigued me by adding that they're part of a hockey team and that what they're all sharing the same woman. It's a human woman or
It's
it's
sort
a
of like she's a puck bunny, only it's with wolves or
okay.
shapeshifters, and she like I guess is like sampling the pack.
Okay, so then at the end is it like this polyamorous arrangement where they're all in a relationship with her? Like how
I haven't read any, but I feel like that's
okay.
where these stories are going, which is why I'm
Yeah.
just that's not my thing. I don't really.
Yeah, but how many people are on a hockey team though? How many people is she servicing?
That's a great question. Sometimes it's like from what I've read for some of these, some of them are like a couple of brothers or like I it's
Ew. I mean, not to yuck anyone's yum, but
All right.
no.
Do you know what? I am so I have to read this. I have to read this. I this is and I don't like shifters, but I need to know the logistics of all of this. Every step of this, I need
yeah,
to understand it because right now my world doesn't make sense.
there
So,
are lots of questions.
and what is the title of the one that you said it's called Puck
The one that
Bunny?
I have is Pack Darling by Lola Rock.
Pack Darling. Okay.
Darling.
And
Okay.
this is with the shifters. Okay.
This is with the shifters. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Maybe we need to start an online paranormal book club with Romance Roundup.
And it's going to be nothing but Wolfpack hockey romances.
It's oh yeah, well, I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going to suggest that, but maybe that is a good idea. I have to read this. Hopefully, this is not 400 pages because that's another one of
This one's like a part one and a part two.
What?
And apparently, like a buyer contacted me just last night actually and was like, is this the extended version with these extra scenes? And I like looked through the book because I don't want to be like, I haven't read this.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be insulting. And so I'm like, no, this is not the extended version. And it's thick.
Oh,
It's part one and part two, and there's roughly 40 something chapters in each part.
yeah, no,
Good
no.
Lord. So that brings up another question. What do you think? We were talking about this at our book club last week. What do you think of all these romance books that are coming out of the gate and they're all 400 plus pages? Like I felt like we were having that moment like a year and a half ago where we were getting like the Audible short stories and novellas and now I feel like every new release is at least 380 pages.
Mm.
Okay, so I grew up on like historical like fiction, and so those are always very long, and those always like it felt good to like read a book that long. And now it's like Mariana Zapata is one of the ones that I always sort of like
Yes.
get annoyed with because I feel like she could have ended it maybe 5 chapters sooner. I love her writing and I'm really into her books, but sometimes I feel like, did you have an editor? Did anyone say to you, maybe we should like cut this 100 pages or so? But then Leah Riley, who's somebody I've been like reading recently, I like her books, but they're so short that I feel like we don't get a full like fully developed plot. Some of the characters I don't
Oh.
think are fully developed. And so like it's like a nice story and I get to the end of it and it's like, okay, that was like a fun read, but that wasn't really like 100% satisfactory, like
Mhm.
satisfying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I just don't know where all the editors are. I guess is sort of my like
Well, yeah, that begs the question. Is it because editors are so overworked and have so many people, whether they're independent or work at a publisher, that they're just like, okay, this is good enough? Like, is it that they can't spend the amount of time necessary? Or with the case of publishers with bigger authors, they're like, oh, let them do whatever they want. I don't know, but somebody's got to start cutting pages, cutting words.
Yeah, so one of the thoughts I've had is that I guess because a lot of these books maybe aren't going to paperback, a lot of them are online and Kindle and electronic.
Mhm.
Before you had to limit the pages because of the cost of basically printing
Yeah.
them. Like no one's going to pay, extra money for an extra thick book.
True,
And so
yeah.
publishers, especially with newer writers, they don't want you to write very long books. Like Libby, I don't know if this happens to you, but you're kind of given a page limit of how much you can write.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of these indie authors who are maybe just doing their books on Amazon and Kindle and that sort of thing, or maybe just first of all, free reign because it's electronic, but also maybe they don't have editors, or maybe they don't have that tier of editor that,
Yeah.
a paid writer
Okay.
necessarily would have.
So do you think the traditional publishers are kind of competing with the indies? They're like, oh, look at these indie authors. They're doing 400 pages, 500, whatever. We should be like kind of on par with that. So then they've upped their count. I have always known indie authors to release longer books. But now seeing how many of the traditional publishers are doing it too.
Well, I
Uh
mean, isn't the new Allie Hazelwood like 400 plus pages?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't read it yet, but someone in our book club mentioned that, and
Right.
I almost feel like with Zapata's books, and I've only read two, and I like them both, but I agree, they felt like we could have kind of trimmed it up a little. I almost feel like her books, I'd never see her going shorter because I feel like that's like a badge of honor that you can read this like 500 page, you know. I mean, and her slow burns are like
Yeah.
slow.
Oh, so that okay. Quick question, Carrie, you mentioned selling books on something called Pango. I've never heard of that. What is
Yeah.
Pango?
So it's an app. I've been trying to get Livy to go on this for a
I
while.
know.
There's an app, it's called Pangobooks, and like basically you can sell your books like imagine like an eBay, only much easier. You like basically you take a picture of your book, you put in the ISBN number, you put a listing price, and there's like platform fees, which is I don't know, it's maybe like 10% or something. And then if someone buys your book, they pay the shipping. You send the book out, like you get the label, you send the book out. And once they receive it, like if they like it within 3 days, your money gets released and it goes right into an account. So you can either buy more books with that money or you can like transfer it to PayPal or something like that.
Oh wow. Okay,
I
that's
need
so
to do it.
interesting.
As you can
You
tell,
need to
my
do it because
bookshelves
I'm
are full.
telling you, like you can make I mean, just the past like 2 weeks, I made like $25, which isn't a lot, but like when I'm buying more books, that's like, hey,
Yeah.
here's my
Especially if you just keep buying it, then it's like free money through the
that's
app.
how I look at girl math, right? Is like, well, I
Yep.
sold these books, so if I'm going to buy that book, and I've been into buying collectors like editions lately.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, and so like this helps sort of offset how expensive
Yeah.
those can be.
Speaking of special editions, this is something I wanted to mention on the show and I didn't. But sprayed edges of books. I mean, really? Like, do we? I mean, it's obviously another marketing ploy to get you to buy the book and multiple, to get to get multiple versions. Like let's say you got the ebook. Oh, now I got to buy the sprayed edges. I mean, I don't know. Do either of you own any romances with sprayed edges? And what was your reasoning? Is it aesthetic? Do you present it on your bookshelf? And is like what? Tell me about it. Tell me why. Tell me why.
I only have one, and it's because it's the new. And I'll off
You
camera.
both looked very guilty when I mentioned the sprayed edges.
No,
It's
I
like they
literally only
both
have
own
one.
them,
Left
don't they?
behind me is splayed edges.
But mine, it was the new Tessa Bailey, and I didn't have a choice. Like I just ordered it on.
Tessa Bailey has sprayed edges?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
I have it in the other. It's pink, and it has little hockey sticks on it. Like it's cute, but yes, bingo.
I see.
Have
Okay,
you read
thank
it
you.
yet?
I actually had an early version of it and I have lots of thoughts about this. Like
Okay.
she also like for some of them they're signed. So this is one of my things where I think I've mentioned this to Libby. I'm like, the splayed edges are so pretty, but
Mhm.
I hate when people put their books on their shelves backwards, like
Yes.
so that the binding is in. But I have now become that person because the splayed edges are so pretty that I'm like, it's artwork. It's a good
Yeah.
way to get nerdy girls to spend money.
Yeah.
And again, girl math and like it's a collector's item. It's going to be worth money one day when I'm dead. Like my
That's our
family can sell
retirement.
it.
Well, being they're doing all these gimmicks, I think, and we've mentioned this before, Libby, I think then that publishers have got to really elevate their marketing game and do the scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
not like naughty scratch and
But
sniff.
like, they talk about the guy smells like
Make it
sandalwood.
so like, yeah, or like there's certain things that's like scratch here. And it's like, oh, I could smell her peaches and cream downstairs. How many times
Oh
do you know what
my.
I mean? Like they always like, oh, she tastes and smells like peaches and cream in her nether regions.
Which always makes me feel like she needs to go to a gynecologist.
Right, which means that she's growing some kind of sugary yeast down there. I don't know. I don't know what's she's making dessert in her pants.
So, like, as someone who tries to write romance, one of the things I do is like because you have to give smell now. Like, I feel like that's a necessity when you're writing. I like go and look at my husband's shampoo bottles and like his like Old Spice to see like what flavors and scents they're putting in there so I can like describe a smell because I'm like, I don't know what guys like. I don't know what guys smell like. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm married to one, but like I couldn't
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
you. It
Right.
smells like the forest. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Right. No, I mean, that makes sense. I mean,
Mhm.
romance or any work of fiction, it should, be evocative. And it's like with and describing the sense, the
And like,
senses. Yeah.
can men really identify the exact smells and hints of like your shampoo? I don't know any guy
No.
that can do that.
If I
No.
read one more book where the male protagonist says they could smell the lavender coconut mango shampoo on the woman's head, I'm gonna lose my shit because I don't think there's any man on this. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's anybody on this planet who like pays attention and goes around like, oh, you know what? I just love Libby. Her hair always smells like coconut and mangoes. Like nobody cares about. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
and who shampoo smells that long after you get out of the shower?
Honestly, mine doesn't. 2 minutes after I've showered, it smells like
Yeah.
I got to go back in and wash my
Yeah.
hair again.
I don't know. Anytime I ask my husband, like, do you smell that? He'll be like, I'm stuffed up. I can't smell anything. Like
That's
every time.
I didn't expect to talk about this, but it's Zoom Collins episode. Anything goes.
Anything goes. What hockey romances are you reading right now? Because I cannot get enough, and I've gotten my sister is now reading hockey romances because every time I post, she'll text and say, "So wait, are there really hockey romances?" I'm like, Kathleen, for the love of
It's the
God, there are
whole
a
thing.
million. So yeah,
Mhm.
she's all aboard the hockey train, and I'm so excited. So
Yeah.
what are you reading and loving?
Okay, so don't mind me. I brought a stack in so that I can remember what I have to talk about.
Oh, excellent.
So one of my favorites has been Canadian Boyfriend.
Yes, I loved that book.
Libby
Um,
talked about it on the show. Yeah.
Did you? Okay, so it's by Jenny Holiday. Um, I don't, it was just really, it was cute, it was sweet, it was emotional. Um, it just had everything in it. It had like a well-developed plot.
It did. It was so good. And did you know that Joshua Jackson did the audiobook?
No, I didn't.
Uh-huh. So it's like Pacey's reading you the book.
Oh my gosh, I think I ended up reading the whole thing. I don't think I did like I usually will get an audio when I have the book too, so that I can like speed things along when I'm driving.
Yep, ditto.
Um, And then when the really steamy ones, like on the way home, if the traffic's bad, I will turn it off because I'm like, if there's a car accident,
Yeah.
this is not what I want people to remember me with. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I don't think I did the audio on that one.
Oh, it's so good. I love that book.
Leah Riley, as you can see, her books are kind of thin.
Ooh, thin is
And
good.
Oh, I
so
like
this is
that.
Mr. Hockey. Mr. Hockey was pretty good. This was the first book in this series. I would recommend this.
Is that a bookstore or a library in the background of that cover?
So this, I can't believe Livy hasn't read this yet. This is about a librarian and a hockey player.
What?
Oh.
Jed West is Mr. Hockey, the captain of the NHL's latest winning team and the hottest player on the ice, at least according to Breezy Angel, who's been drooling over Jed at games for years. Breezy is obviously the librarian. Everything changes when Jed saunters through the doors of Breezy's library as a last-minute special guest for a summer reading event. Their chemistry is immediate and hot enough to thaw an entire rink in record time.
Ooh.
Um, so basically, yeah, like he comes in. I think his coach or another player was supposed to come and read to the kids, and instead he has to do a replacement for them because they got sick or something. And then he meets Breezy, and then from there, blah blah.
Oh, well,
It
okay.
was very sweet,
That
and I feel
one,
like Livy has to read this.
yeah, librarian sold.
Yeah.
Librarian hockey player.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, Leah Riley also wrote a book that I had mentioned was on my TBR, Puck and Prejudice.
Prejudice.
Mm.
Did you
I
did
read
you read?
that.
Okay, is it good?
I read that. I had gotten that as an arc from NetGalley,
Okay.
and it's okay. It's another one where I felt like it's not very long in length. You have time travel, a hockey player, and then like a Jane Austen character. And for me, the story was there and it was good. And you do spend a lot of time trying to figure out how in the world is this going to be resolved because someone's got to go back to their own time. Like this is just isn't going to work. So that was
Yeah.
an interesting sort of thing to pull you through the story, or else I might not have finished because like immediately the male hockey player, he ends up going back in time and he like is stumbled upon in a pond by this Jane Austen type woman who like within minutes believes his story. Like she believes immediately that he's time traveled into her pond and she needs to help him. And like that for me was very like too fast, too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and so they end up having like a marriage of convenience kind of thing. I don't even know if it was a marriage or if it was like an engagement of convenience.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, and then it goes from there. And so yeah, it's not terrible. It's a quick read, so I wouldn't say don't read it, but it was just sort of like I had a
Quick
lot of
is
issues
good.
with how quickly like we just accept like, oh, this guy is from 200 years in the future and he's stumbled through my pond and now he's here. And I'm going to help him. I'm going to go find him clothes that fit him perfectly and I'm going to sneak him into my house and
Interesting. I mean, I'm still interested. I was interested when you mentioned it last year, Liz. So,
Yeah, but I'm not anymore.
no, I don't want to ruin it. I would love to actually have you read it and like come back and let me know what you guys think.
Nah. Carrie, as always, a pleasure. And we'll definitely have you on for probably a longer episode.
I think Cousin Carrie's Corner sounds really cute.
I do
Oh,
too.
thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank
Happy
you.
reading to
Yes.
you.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Yes. We'll have you back soon.
Watch Romance Roundup on Reader Seeks Romance channel and subscribe on YouTube. Listen to Romance Roundup on PodBean and all podcast apps. Thanks for joining us, romance readers.
Happy reading, everyone.